Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning. We got folks coming through the door. That's a refreshing thing. And good morning to all of you that are joining us virtually. So we're going to get started right off the bat with our first two community songs. I'm going to turn it over to our musicians. Here we go.
Look at the person next to you. Say God loves you and love you too.
God loves you and I love you too.
Feel the love and the unity.
Feel the love and the unity.
Lift your voice and repeat after me.
Lift your voice and repeat after
We come together.
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 In the name of love, we come together.
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 In the name of love. Take a look at the person next to you.
Look at the person next to you.
Say, I recognize the God in you.
I recognize the God in you.
Feel the love and the unity.
Feel the love and the unity.
Lift your voice and repeat after me.
Lift your voice and repeat
We
after me.
come together.
We 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 come together.
In the name of love, we come together.
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 In the name of love, from every walk of life,
Every walk of life.
every creed and color,
Creed and color.
kinship we unite.
We unite.
In honor of God and each other. Take a look at the person next to you.
Look at the person next to you.
Say, Namaste, I bow to you.
Namaste, I bow to you.
Feel the love and the unity.
Feel the love and the unity.
Lift your voice and repeat after me.
Lift your voice and repeat
We
after
come
me.
together.
We come 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 together.
In the name of love, we come together.
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 In the name of love, we come together.
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 In the name of love. Last time.
We come together.
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 In the name of love. In the name of love.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. my wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This wonderful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. That's it. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day.
Indeed, it is a beautiful day. So I want to welcome everybody to Sierra Center for Spiritual Living. Welcome all of you that are joining us virtually. My name is Reverend Rafe Ellis, and I am so honored and privileged to be the senior minister right here today at this amazing community. So let me remind us of who we are and share with you who are visiting us for the first time of who we are. We are a radically inclusive, spiritually progressive, supportive community that celebrates the very diversity of creation. We strive to live authentic spiritual lives through a practical application of the teachings of science of mind. We engage in sacred practices that uplift our spirit, deepen our awareness, and ignite our soul's self-expression. We demonstrate active compassion to ourselves, to one another, and the world. We experience meaningful contribution through giving generously of our time, talents, and treasures. And we intentionally, on purpose, shamelessly, unapologetically promote our community and our teachings. And so if you are joining us virtually or you have your cell phone handy if you're here in the room, you can actually participate in sharing this live stream with other folks simply by sharing it on whatever social media platforms that you play on. And later down the road, if somebody is interested in what we teach, you can go to our YouTube page, Sierra Spiritual YouTube, and all of the talks and all of the services are there. The services are captured because they're live streamed directly to YouTube. And then afterwards, we break out just the talk portion if folks are just wanting to listen to that. So everything is available there. There's a year's worth of meditations there. And if there's something that's not there that you would like to see there, shoot me an email and we'll see what we can do to make that happen for you. Okay. So one of the things that we do to demonstrate our commitment to inclusion is our inclusion candle lighting ritual that we do every Sunday morning. And we light these candles to celebrate the unity of all people, all faiths, all beings, all life. We light the first candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples. We light the second candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the third candle for Taoism, honoring the path of ultimate reality, the natural way. We light the fourth candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the fifth candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the middle way and path of compassion. We light the sixth candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the teachings of Jesus as the path of love, forgiveness, and healing by the presence within. We light the seventh candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the eighth candle for the religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the ninth candle for all forms of New Thought teachings, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through through the practice of universal spiritual principles of love and law. We light the 10th candle for absolute inclusivity, affirming and celebrating that all are welcome and celebrated here. And we light this final candle, honoring the infinity of oneness as all creation, seen and unseen. Thank you, Reverend Lanning. So now I'm going to turn it back over to our musicians for our next community song. Lift your voice. Let's fill the universe with song. Here we go.
Good. Oh, let me do that.
Take two.
Take two. God is my source, God is my power, God is the everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything I need. God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks. All my blessings, God gives me everything I need. My source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything I need. Now it's love. Love is my source, love is my power. Love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Love gives me everything I need. Joy, joy is my source. Joy is my power. Joy gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Love gives me everything. How about some peace? Peace is my source. Peace is my power. Peace gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Peace gives me everything I need. God is my source. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need.
So this is our time of announcements. And before I get started on the formal announcements, just want to make folks aware that I'm sure everybody here in the room is already aware, but those of you out there aware, that we've been dancing with some stuff here in Nevada County. Had a fire, and we're dealing with the impact of that in smoke and people's homes and folks in our community impacted by having to evacuate and come back in their home. And this morning, a friend at 2 o'clock this morning was awakened with a tree falling through their house. So stuff is happening. And so just know that we're going to be rolling out something to be a part of actively working to help folks get back on their feet. I have no idea what that's going to be yet, but I do know that it will be something, and it will be amazing. So stay tuned. Okay. So our Actualizing Wholeness, our monthly discussion group. Okay, let me go with the slides because that'll just be easier to do it that way. We are open, but you knew that. So let me explain our bead system real quickly. If you are still wanting everybody to wear a mask and stay 6 feet away from you, you wear a red strand of beads, and that communicates that. If you're just not even sure what the heck is going on anymore or how you feel and that you're navigating it person by person, put on a pair of pair of yellow beads, okay? And if you're good interacting with folks at any distance, mask, no mask, hugs, no hugs, you wear a green strand. Now, I know it is suspiciously like the traffic lights that we deal with every day. That's by design, so you don't have to think very hard about what you're looking at, okay? And here's the thing. If you're wearing a green strand and you're interacting with someone that's wearing a red strand, honor the red strand while you're interacting with them. That just keeps everybody in their comfort zone. It keeps everybody safe, and we don't have to repeat the same conversation over and over and over. There's also little seat markers right there at the entrance. If you care to use those, you can put one on either side of you that says, please do not sit here if you want to maintain that space. We've done everything I can think of to make this a safe and comfortable experience for you. So, all right. Now, our Actualizing Wholeness monthly discussion group. So we meet the first Tuesday of every month via Zoom from 4:30 to 6. The next meeting will be September 7th. I encourage you to come hang out with us. We use a format that was introduced by physicist David Bohm, where we just kind of surrender into whatever the infinite wants to make known through us, which really challenges us to let go of everything we think we know and just dive into, hadn't thought about it that way. And it's really a lively discussion that for me feels very much like just playing in a spiritual mental sandbox. It's a lot of fun. So invite you to join us for that. Okay. So this is our time of inward shift. Reverend Lanny is going to come and give us a brief message about our community value of the week, which I believe is inclusion. And then she will lead us into our meditation, and she will bring us out of the meditation with our opening prayer, and then lead us in reading our affirmation.
Thank you, Reverend Rafe. Good morning, everybody. So we're talking about inclusion. That's one of our values. And of course, it's when we light that 10th candle, it is to reinforce our value of inclusion, that all are welcome here. And we've always said, whoever you are, wherever you are on your spiritual path, you are welcome here. And that is what inclusion means, that everybody's welcome, that we do not make it a discriminatory thing in any way. We are open to allow everybody to explore their own spiritual connection here with us and to share the tools that we have that allow us each to find that inner spirit, that God of our understanding. I thought it was interesting this week that we found out that the musical artist Rihanna is a billionaire. Her value is $1.7 billion. That's with a B. And they asked, how did she get so wealthy? Well, it isn't about her singing. She started a makeup line, and she started it with 40 different selections of foundation. So she included all of the skin tones. They actually said the reason she's made this money because of inclusion. She has a line of negligees, women's underwear, sexy stuff for every body type. For every body type. She is inclusive, and it made her a billionaire. Not because she was about the money, but she was passionate about inclusion. So let us begin our meditation on that vibration of inclusion. Let's take a breath together. And remember that there is just one power, one presence, one life force that created everything out of itself. And its essence is love and joy and harmony and wholeness and peace and beauty and truth and diversity and inclusion. It created all of these varieties of infinite people and animals and environments. All of these amazing, amazing variety of beauty, of creativity, of abundance, and all of it, part of the one. Each a unique expression of that one. Every single individualized expression is an unrepeatable miracle. And so we remember that in this moment, that every single individual, every single animal, every single insect, every single bird, every single everything is a miracle. And we celebrate the miracle of life. We celebrate that there was no loss of life in this river fire that we just experienced. We're grateful for all of our friends and all of our community members who are able to return to their homes intact. And we pray and hold in love and knowing that we are part of the healing of those who lost their homes. And so we know that what is ours to do will be revealed. And I know that this service today is a blessing to all who participate in it. That all of the music resonates with us, that all of the words of Reverend Rafe are hitting us where we need to know what we need to know in this moment, so that we are all uplifted, we are all inspired, and we all go forth into this day knowing who we are and how we are showing up as a beneficial presence in this world, in this life, in this moment. And so I give thanks for this time together, for this realization, and for this knowing that is bringing itself into manifestation by means of us in this moment as I release my word into the law, knowing that the law responds by corresponding to this energy and brings it into perfect manifestation. And we affirm this together as we say, and so it is. So now we are going to do our weekly affirmation. I will say it once, and then I will invite you to repeat it with me. Today, I experience the playful nature of spirit. Today, I experience the playful nature of spirit. And so it is.
Won't you come out to play? Dear Prudence, greet the brand new day. beautiful, and so are you, dear Prudence. Won't you come out to play? Dear Prudence, open up your eyes. Dear Prudence, see the sunny sky. The wind is low, the birds will sing that you are part of everything, dear Prudence. Won't you open up your eyes? Look around, 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 around. Look around, around, around. Look around. Dear Prudence, let me see you smile. Dear Prudence, like a little child. The clouds will be a daisy chain, so let me see you smile again, dear Prudence. Won't you let me see you smile? Dear Prudence, won't you come out to play? Dear Prudence, greet the brand new day. The sun is up, the sky is blue, it's beautiful, and so are you, dear Prudence. Won't you come out to play?
Thank you. Thank you. Let's take a breath together. I contemplated all week changing the talk title because it felt a little out of synchronicity for my humanness to talk about a playful pause while the Dixie Fire is burning almost 500,000 acres, and while here locally, right here in Grass Valley, people are literally running for their lives in the river fire, while I'm putting out prayer requests to the practitioners and ministers to hold a 2.5-year-old in prayer who has been diagnosed with COVID. It was a little challenging to even contemplate a playful pause. And yet, that is the perfection and the wisdom of Spirit. Because what kept coming up for me was the obvious that I've missed for 61 years. Have you ever noticed how when things are perfectly fine in your life, perfectly fine, nothing's wrong, but yet you find a way to manufacture some sadness? Anybody else do that? Not a thing going wrong, but somehow we manage to find a way to manufacture sadness. And yet, when everything's going wrong, how dare you introduce the idea that you can manufacture some happiness and joy? We get really offended by that. Isn't that interesting? It's okay to manufacture sadness. It's not okay to manufacture joy. Why is that? And I just sat with that, and it's like, because we're more comfortable. Our comfort zone, whether we like it or not, and if this upsets you, I would like to tell you I'm sorry, but I'm not, so I won't. Our comfort zone as human beings tends to live in victimhood. Now, that's not a fun thing to own, but it's true. Look at a fire happened. Homes burnt. A tree fell. But if you look at all of the rhetoric around it, I'm so sorry this is happening to you. It didn't happen to anybody. It just happened. The fire isn't personal. I'll guarantee you there was no element in that fire, even though fire has a life of its own, and I have fought forest fires, and they're very weird because they'll take out this house, skip this house, and take out these houses, right? That has nothing to do with it did it to you but not to you. It has to do with climate zones. It has to do with how fire moves based on the weather, based on the air in the immediate area. Right? It pulls it, and it pushes it, and it moves it. And for whatever reason, that particular house didn't catch on fire. It's not personal. It doesn't mean the houses that burned are bad, and the house that didn't are good. I watched that happen in Santa Rosa when the fire swept through there with different people in the spiritual community up there in Santa Rosa. And people were actually saying ridiculous things like, so-and-so must have really been on top of their prayer work because their house didn't burn up. I suggest that you do some study on prayer because that's not how it works. That's not how it works. Okay? That is a God outside of us that punishes and rewards, and that's not what we teach. Okay? We teach that we live in alignment with nature. We live in alignment with natural law. And fire is a part of natural law. And again, notice the perspective. In the wintertime, when we're cold, fire is an amazing thing, isn't it? We build them on purpose inside our homes. In things called fireplaces and stoves. It has a function. But when it's out of control, well, guess what? It still has a function. The difference is we don't like that function because now that function is changing what we want. That doesn't mean we have to go to a place of complete despair. It also doesn't mean, and I want to be really clear, there is no part of me that is suggesting we put on blinders and earplugs and what I have grown up calling be a bliss ninny, right? Where we ignore that people's homes burn down, that they've been impacted. But that doesn't mean we have to mourn everything. It means we mourn that. My favorite story, and I wish I'd been there to witness it, but I believe it's true. Don Miguel Ruiz came out of the shopping mall, and his vehicle was gone. Someone had stolen his vehicle. And his first response was, cool, I get a new car. That's where I want to live. I want to live in such a place of centeredness, such a place of, I can't even say non-attachment, but appropriate attachment. Because if I go out in this back lot and my truck is gone, you all will witness the biggest man-baby fit you have seen in your entire life. I'm attached to that truck. I ain't gonna lie. I'm attached to the stuff in the truck, mostly my fishing gear. You will see a big man-baby temper tantrum. Right? I want to get to the place where I could walk out there and go, cool, I get new fishing equipment. I get a new truck. Yay! Leave my truck alone. Because we got to keep it real, folks. We got to keep it real. There are too many of us. I have a friend in Santa Rosa, a licensed practitioner in Centers for Spiritual Living. Beautiful human being. Has given his life in service to humanity. And when his home burnt down in the fires in Santa Rosa, someone said something profoundly ignorant and hurtful to him. And what they said was, well, I guess that's just God showing you how to let go of some things. He called me for prayer because in his humanness, where he wanted to go with that was, boop, that's God showing you how to let go of some of your teeth. It's not helpful, right? We want to celebrate life, but don't be cruel. Don't be unthoughtful and insensitive. If someone's home burnt down, that is not the time to rejoice in their loss. It is the time to rejoice that we live in an abundant, creative world that is going to stand with them as they rebuild the life they want to rebuild. There's a difference. There's a difference. We don't ignore condition. We just refuse to be led by it. Right? Our teaching tells us that we control conditions through the use of mind. Mind being energy, the use being how we funnel it with our thoughts, with our beliefs. And so we know that everything that is needed to rebuild every life that has been negatively impacted isn't coming, it already exists. Because if you put it in terms of it's coming, you create a delay. It's already here. Already existing, and by seeing it fully present, fully here, fully now, we bring it into being. How does that happen? Ideas get sparked. Right? I'm watching my friend who had the tree fall on her house this morning. At 2 o'clock in the morning, people are already coming out of the woodwork. There are trucks going with her to her home even as we speak this morning to move stuff out and put it in storage. And there are multiple places for her and her dog to stay. It's already being handled by the resources that already exist. You are a resource in the mind of God. Right? You may not have a ton of money to throw at something, but you have your time. You have your talent. There's some place for you to serve in all of this, if nothing else, in prayer. Prayer is powerful. We're all using the same energy source. And so you breathe into that and you see everyone who is impacted lifted up, because when the tide rises, every boat rises. Have you ever been someplace where the tide changed and all the boats except for one moved? No. Right? So even if you have no physical resources, You have you. Now, how do we access play in the middle of all of this stuff? Right? Gratitude. I watched somebody who had to evacuate, and the first thing they posted on Facebook was gratitude. Gratitude about being able to evacuate. Gratitude about having had some warning so that they had time to pack some stuff. Gratitude that they had someplace to go. Gratitude that there was an emergency shelter at the fairground for their pets. Start with gratitude, no matter what's going on. See, because here's the thing. If you're struggling to figure out what to be grateful for, if you can complain you're alive, start there. Right? If you're complaining, instantly shift it. You can be grateful that you're alive and have the capacity to gripe. I don't care what you're grateful for. Just get grateful. It shifts everything, because you can't actively state how grateful you are and continue to complain. It's like trying to have a dark room with the light on. Doesn't work, right? So just start gratitude. Get busy doing something. Be in service to one another, right? Pick up the phone. If you hang out on social media, message folks. Are you okay? Do you need something? Right? Get engaged in the process. Do something to make somebody else happy. Right? Because our tendency when we're unhappy is this. And we're going to wait for somebody to come make us happy. Right? Go do something to make someone else happy. I don't care if it's something as ridiculous as taking a notepad and going to a parking lot and writing "Have a great day" and putting it under the windshield wiper on total strangers' cars. Do something to uplift someone else. I promise you, it will uplift you in the process. Guarantee it. And if it doesn't work, I will gladly refund your misery. I promise. Be optimistic. Now, I don't mean be blind. I mean be optimistic. Understand that the universe has got this, no matter what it looks like. And listen for how things can roll out. The word silly, do you guys know the origins of the word silly? This blew me away. I love words. The actual origins of the word silly means to be blessed, to be fortunate. Right? Who knew? That certainly isn't my introduction to it. Yeah. And then as it evolved in the Germanic, it means happy, blissful. Right? We tend to even demonize being silly. You notice that? Oh, quit being silly. This is serious. I have had for many years what I call my Rice Krispie philosophy of life. That if you are too serial for too long, you will snap, crackle, and pop. I believe in silliness. Now, I recently had an encounter, I will call it that, an encounter, with someone who was deeply offended by some silliness. And so that may happen. Yeah. What I shared, because I'm a Southern boy, right? I have Southern credentials. Right? And so I shared a social media meme of a marijuana leaf that had been deep fried, battered and deep fried, that had the caption, "The day after marijuana is legalized in the South." It's still funny, y'all. And what makes it funny is how true it is. And as one of my friends back in Asheville pointed out, that picture was probably created by somebody in the South, right? Because we will fry anything. You can go to a fair in the South, and you can actually spend $7 for a deep-fried stick of butter. I ain't lying. Right? But this person took deep offense to that and sent me this scathing email about how dare I talk about inclusion and do diversity, equity, and inclusion work and then make fun of everybody in the South. And what I was, attempted to help this individual understand is that I didn't make fun of anybody. What I did was laugh at the ridiculousness of an element of our culture that I know to be true. Okay? It's just true. But notice, if we have a perspective that something is negative, it will be negative for us. It won't matter. And so you just have to know that. So be sensitive, know your audience as you're being playful. Be willing to have the conversation with someone if it doesn't land really well, okay? Be willing to be open to the conversation because that's where relationship happens. And at some point, if you know that it's really clean within you, let it go. Your job is not to change another human being. Your job is not to heal their wounds. Your job is to be available and walk with one another in our healing. But we can't impose healing on each other. And so as we all are navigating this process of COVID, as we're navigating the healing from the fires, as we're navigating the healing of the atmosphere and the smoke and everything else, what we can do is be available to one another. And I encourage you to be willing to sit in the discomfort with one another. To be clear enough in yourself that you can pause, be playful, restore, and then get back in the trench. Because that's where healing happens. When we're willing to be in the trench with one another, non-judgmentally, to just be there. And when someone is going through their process, right, several of us in ministry went out to the evacuation places to just be there for people. Here's what people need in that scenario. They need these. They don't need this. They need these. They need this. So just listen. Just listen. You don't need to change people. Just be present with them. Be willing to be in their pain with them. And if that brings up something that you aren't ready to deal with, that's the gift they just gave you for your healing. Because if you can't be with their pain because it triggers your pain, you got some work to do. Thank them for taking you to that awareness, and then get about the business of healing yourself, and then come back. I want to close with one of my favorite writings. It's from 1927, Max Ehrman. He wrote this for his daughter, Desiderata, which actually comes from the Latin desideratum, meaning something that is needed or wanted. Go placidly amid the noise and the haste, and remember what peace there may be in silence. As far as possible without surrender, be on good terms with all persons. Speak your truth quietly and clearly, and listen to others. Even to the dull and the ignorant, they too have a story. Avoid loud and aggressive persons. They are a vexation to the spirit. If you compare yourself to others, you may become vain or bitter. For always there will be greater and lesser persons than yourself. Enjoy your achievements as well as your plans. Keep interested in your own career, however humble. It is a real possession in the changing fortunes of time. Exercise caution in your business affairs, for the world is full of trickery. But let this not blind you to what virtue there is. Many persons strive for high ideals, and everywhere life is full of heroism. Be yourself. Especially do not feign affection. Neither be cynical about love. For in the face of all aridity and disenchantment, it is as perennial as the grass. Take kindly the counsel of the years, gracefully surrendering the things of youth. Nurture strength of spirit to shield you in sudden misfortune. Do not distress yourself with dark imaginings. Many fears are born of fatigue and loneliness. Beyond wholesome discipline, be gentle with yourself. You are a child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars. You have a right to be here. And whether or not it is clear to you, no doubt the universe is unfolding as it should. Therefore, be at peace with God, whatever you conceive it to be. And wherever your labors and aspirations, in the noisy confusion of life, keep peace in your soul. With all its sham, drudgery, and broken dreams, it is a beautiful world. Be cheerful. Strive to be happy. Let's take this into prayer. And so what I know is that the energy of life is joy. It is love. It is peace. It is power. It is a harmonious operation of one. It is often beyond my human comprehension. And I know the truth of it from the glimpses of experiencing my soul as it. And so I know that being created out of it, by it, to be it, I am fully infused with it. That I am literally it in form. And what is true of me is true of all creation. So the peace that passes understanding, the joy of life itself, fully available in every moment to each and every one of us, regardless of circumstance, regardless of condition. And so I speak my word this morning, claiming and affirming that every life is uplifted to an experience, to a realization, to the making real. The joy, the peace, the love, the harmony that is the nature of the Spirit of all. That the power of that heals all discord, heals all loss, makes the path of grief gentle and kind. So grateful to know that love is lifting up love this morning, that peace is lifting up peace this morning, that kindness is the order of humanity this day. I claim it. I affirm it. I settle for nothing less within my experience. I choose to be that. And so I celebrate. And as I celebrate, I let go, knowing it's already done, already complete. Nothing to do but experience it. I let go. I invite you to join me to claim your birthright and the activity of it in your life as we say together, and so it is. Let's take another breath as we shift. So if you're joining us online, this is our time of conscious, intentional, generous giving. And I invite you to go to our website, www.sierraCenter.org/donate.html. If you're here in the room, our usher is going to bring around our basket. We're not just passing the basket, we're actually bringing it around for now till nature changes its dance with us. We're just going to keep doing that. And I invite you, if you're struggling with money, we're about to give you an earworm for the rest of the year that can work as an affirmation in your life. And because it's recorded here, you can go back and redo it and listen to it over and over and over. And so thank you, Eddie Watkins Jr., for this amazing song. And thank you, musicians. Here we go.
Money is coming to me. Money is coming to me. Money keeps coming to me. Money is 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 coming to me. I can just feel it, and I believe it's coming to me now. I'm not worried about how. Money is coming to me. The universe is working for me. I can just feel it, and I believe it's working for me now. I'm not worried about how. Yeah, money is coming to me. More than enough to live. More than enough to give, more than enough to share. Feels like it's already here. More than enough to shop, more than enough to drop, more than enough to save. With things that feel the way, yeah, money is coming to me. I can just feel it, and I believe it's coming to me now. And I'm not worried about how. Money is coming to me. Money is coming to me.
All right. So we're going to do our giving affirmation, which I completely, even though I'm staring at it, I managed to blank on it. So here we go. I give this gift with love and joy from a consciousness of abundance. Divine love blesses and prospers all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. So where'd our offering basket go? If we'll bring that up here so I can speak a word of blessing. If you haven't figured out, we like to pray around here. And so what I know is that we are blessed by those who give the energy of the divine as money through Sierra Center for Spiritual Living to do amazing work in the world to sustain this organization, this community. Grateful, grateful, grateful. And so it is. Thank you. All right, some gratitudes. Thank you, musicians. Thank you, Julie Chirelli on the drums. Took us a while to get her to let us turn up the sound so we could actually hear, but we're there now. See, a little shy. Thank you, Jeff, our music director, for doing an amazing job getting us all together. Thank you, Juanita. Thank you, Marilyn Gale, our board president. We got people serving. Thank you to my tech folks this morning. Thank you, Mary Lou, board member, for running our PowerPoint here in the room. Thank you, Dell. Dell is the one doing the magic behind the curtain of the live stream. You do an amazing job. Thank you. Thank you, Diana, for being our greeter and for learning. Diana's sitting there learning everything Dell does. This is how we spread the wealth. So thank you. Thank you, Rev Lanny, for being our practitioner this morning.
And did you say Juanita?
Yes, I did.
I missed that. I missed that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Because I'm a smart man.
Yeah. Well,
Juanita is
I have
our
little
admin
synapses.
person, my work wife. Yeah. I could not do any of this without her. There's just no way. Yeah. So if you have a prayer request, if you're joining us online, you can go to our website, meet us in that whole little section there. You can put in a prayer request. Those emails are confidential. They come only to me, and then I send them out to our prayer team, which is our licensed practitioners and our ministers. If you have a prayer request and you're here in the room over by the table with the black scarf over there, you can fill out a prayer request. I will communicate that to the rest of the prayer team this afternoon, and we will hold you in prayer. You do not have to do this alone. You do not. I think that's it. Other than our benediction, am I forgetting anything? If I do, I know y'all will tell me. I count on it. All right, let's stand and do our benediction, shall we? Something wonderful is happening as me right now.
Something wonderful is happening as me right now.
It is this thing called joy.
It is this thing called joy.
It is this thing called healing.
It is this thing called healing.
It is this thing called happiness.
It is this thing called happiness.
I know it.
I know it.
I feel it.
I feel it.
I sense it.
I sense it.
Because I am it.
Because I am it.
And so it is.
And so it is.
All right, musicians, all yours.